Today, I'm going to be talking about how to know when you are ready to start your recovery journey. Welcome to Fly to Freedom, the Anorexia Recovery Podcast. This podcast is for you if you're living in a restrictive eating disorder or supporting somebody else. I'm Julia Trehane, your host, an eating disorder recovery coach, and I lived in 40 years of anorexia, orthorexia, and exercise addiction before my recovery journey led me to complete freedom. Wherever you are in your recovery journey, this podcast is for you to help you grow and heal. Let's get on with the episode. Choosing to start recovery is a really conflicting thing to do. It can be so difficult to know whether you are actually ready or not, and to keep questioning yourself. So I thought I would do an episode about how to actually know if you are ready. And the first part is to acknowledge that you have a problem, that there is a problem. And quite honestly, if you're listening to this podcast, you know that there's a problem. You know that you are not happy where you are living in the existence of the eating disorder. And you are probably genuinely concerned about the toll it's taking on your life. So that is step number one, literally just to know that there's a problem. Even though when you start questioning the problem, the eating disorder is probably going to say, well, it's not that bad really. Other people have it a lot worse. Everybody has a fear of weight gain. Nobody wants to gain weight. Everybody wants to stay thin. Or I'm really not actually sick enough. And all the other excuses the eating disorder comes out with, which are just too numerous to actually name. There's so many. And the excuses are normal. Those reasons why you think perhaps the problem's not that bad, it's normal. And it's coming from wanting to protect what you know, protect the comfort zone that you're living in. Even though it's really uncomfortable, it's still your normal, and anything else is still scary. So those excuses are just quite simply that, they're just excuses. So after you've acknowledged that there is a problem, that you are not living the life you want to live, the second step is to know that there is a desire for change. You want a better life. Quite simply, you are desiring a life that isn't controlled by food, weight, or body image. You might want to have more energy. You might want to have better relationships. You might want to be able to say yes to the invitation to go out for a meal with a friend. You might want to be able to go on a holiday without having to try and find a hotel that has a good gym and that has a buffet restaurant that you can just pick the salads and have safe foods, which is honestly what I used to do. Holidays used to revolve around it. Flights that fitted in with time so that I could go to the gym first. You might want to just go on holiday and relax, to not have to think about all that stuff first. You might want to have a head that's free of thoughts of food, constantly going at you again and again all the time. So the second stage is quite simply, you want a better life. You want things to be different. So now that you know that there is a problem and that you want a change, what is your motivation to take the next step? What are the reasons you want to recover? What are the dreams you have? What are your health concerns? What are your relationship issues due to the fact that you've isolated yourself or protecting yourself from the eating disorder. Even if you are so scared, there is a part of you that feels motivated to take steps towards recovery. So grab a pen and paper and write down your reasons. And if you don't know the reasons that you want to recover, you will know the reasons you don't want to stay in the eating disorder. So start with that. Start with the fact that you have no space in your head for any thoughts, that you're lonely and isolated, that you're extremely anxious all the time. And when you've written out all the reasons why you don't want to be where you are now, look at the opposites of them and you'll notice what you do want. So the next step is accepting support, because recovery alone, some people manage it, yes, but it is so hard because you're going at recovery with the mindset of somebody with an eating disorder. And it's incredibly difficult to make change with the mindset of where you have been. So having support and help and being open to having support and help, get a coach like me or a therapist, or allow family members to help you, but professional help is the most beneficial, because that's somebody who is not in the mind of the eating disorder, doesn't have that mindset. So it's virtually, well, it's incredibly difficult to do this alone. So be willing to reach out for support to get through this. The next step is readiness and willingness to challenge your thoughts, to start asking questions of the beliefs and behaviors that maintain the eating disorder, and become open to exploring alternative thoughts and perspectives. Because you've been going along just doing the things that the eating disorder has told you to do for so long, without question, just doing them because anything else feels uncomfortable, it feels scary. And yes, of course, recovery is going to feel uncomfortable and it is going to feel scary. But when we start questioning the anorexia, questioning those thoughts, then we can start getting different perspectives and becoming clearer. Like, is it true that cheese is terrible and scary and just horrendous? I used to think so, yes. But if it is true, how come it's not true for everybody? What are the benefits of having cheese? It's got calcium in it, it's got fats in it that are really healthy for you, it tastes amazing, it's nutritious. Just start questioning all the beliefs that have been keeping you stuck, living in your excuses. And once you start questioning them, once you're not just blindly following them and obeying them, then you can start challenging them. And you're ready to face the fears that come with eating more, gaining weight, and letting go of that illusion of control. Now, challenging the fear. A lot of people think they want to wait until they've got past the fear of weight gain before they start to gain weight. When we challenge fear, when we want to get rid of these fears, we have to do the things first. The actions come before you lose the fear. Like for everybody that drives, the first time you sat behind the wheel of a car, I bet you were terrified. I was absolutely petrified. And there was no way I could have mindseted my way into not being scared of driving until I did drive. And I wasn't not scared within the first 5 minutes. I wasn't not scared within the first hour, the first week, the first month. It took time. It took repeating the things I was scared of, repeating, getting behind that wheel, repeating driving, time and time and time again, until it became my normal. And then I realized I wasn't scared of it anymore. And I was terrified of learning to drive. I just thought, I'm behind the wheel of a killing machine. And I was so scared. But it's only by taking the actions over and over that the fear goes. It's never going to go before we take the actions. So that is where we have to have realistic expectations. Understand that recovery is going to be challenging. It's going to have ups and downs. And you are still able to make progress regardless. That you commit to making changes, even if these are just small steps to begin with. But knowing that every step, every practice at facing the fear, every time we do this, we are making progress. The next thing is setting goals. I mean, just small ones, realistic, manageable goals that will help you move towards recovery, such as noting down 5 fear foods you're scared of and eating them 5 times each as a goal. Reaching out to a recovery coach like me or a therapist. Stopping chewing gum. Have really small goals and be ready to set these small goals. The big goal, the long-term vision, yes, we definitely want it. We definitely need it. But if we think of recovery, the entire recovery as a goal, as one big thing, it becomes overwhelming. So whilst we need a vision, a direction that we want to travel, a destination that we want to reach, we also need to have these small and manageable goals, these steps along the way, rather than trying to think of the massive, massive picture. You may feel ambivalent about recovery, which is normal, but as long as you're willing to explore, be curious, and work through these mixed feelings, we can get past that. Another part of being ready for recovery is acceptance of change, that you know change is necessary, and you're ready to take small steps or big steps, any steps towards recovery. To begin with, when I first decided I needed recovery, I wanted to recover without really making a lot of changes. I certainly wanted to recover without gaining weight. I certainly wanted to recover without losing what I felt was control. It was an illusion of control. What I thought I was in control of was controlling me. It took me going around houses loads of times and just skirting around the edges of recovery to accept change, to accept that change is necessary. In anorexia recovery, weight gain is necessary. And once I accepted that that change was going to happen and there was no way around it, then I could get on. There's physical and emotional readiness. Are you ready to start listening to your body rather than your fear? You've started to notice your body has needs, that you're exhausted, that your head is so full. And this is noticing that you are just not where you want to be. So you, at this point, are emotionally and physically ready to begin addressing all the issues that contribute to the eating disorder. Resilience It's a great trait. And you may have resilience and determination. In actual fact, if you've been living in anorexia, you do have resilience and determination. And you've been using it to keep yourself in the eating disorder for so long. You've been so determined not to gain weight. You've been so determined to ensure you do the exercise. You've been so resilient to other people telling you things, telling you that you're sick, telling you that you need to eat. This persistence, this resilience, this determination that you have within you, you can turn to help you in recovery. You can develop a more supportive mindset towards helping you recover rather than keeping you stuck. And with more supportive mindsets, then there is the inner critic, the eating disorder voice, the voice that tells you you're awful, you're shit, you're rubbish, you're not good enough. If you are willing to develop a compassionate inner voice, a voice that tells you that actually you are enough, a voice that supports you even when things get tough, even when you're scared, this is when you are absolutely truly ready. If you are done hating yourself, abusing yourself, punishing yourself, torturing yourself, if it just feels like you're living this Groundhog Day over and over again, this is when you're ready. You may never feel truly, truly ready because the fear will always stop that. You will never think, right, I'm completely ready to do this now. Because the fear will always say you're not. The eating disorder voice will always say, no, 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 you can't do that. So you're never going to feel truly ready. But if you resonated with some of these points that I've said in this episode, then you are ready. It's just about being willing to start. It doesn't mean you are fully confident or fearless. So even with your doubts and your fears, it's just about being willing to take one step at a time. Remember, it's a journey, it's a process, it's not everything all at once. Even when you go all in recovery, you still can't do absolutely everything all at once. It's still one step at a time. So reach out. You can do this. I'm here for you. I'm sending you so much love. And I believe in you.